Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sai SATCHARITRA, an Insight. Episode 160. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahmam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Devotees, in the previous episode, we listened that Shankarrao Gavankar and Lala Lakshmi Chand left Shiradi with Sri Sai's blessings along with the indoor devotee who had come for Sri Sai's darshan. 3 of them reached Kopargaon railway station in the Tonga and were shocked to know that the train had already departed the station. Now, doubts cropped up in the mind of Shankarrao, questioning the divinity of Sri Sai Baba, as he had heard that a devotee that leaves Shiradi after taking the consent and blessings of Sri Sai Maharaj will not face any hurdles in their journey. But now these 3 are stranded in the railway station. Next train is only at 8 p.m. that night. Even if they board that train, they will not be able to catch the connecting train at Manmad to reach Mumbai, as that would have departed as scheduled. So they can't reach Mumbai as planned. Left with no options, they waited for the night train at Kopargaon. This indoor friend of Shankar, being a rich person, volunteered to buy tickets for Lala Lakshmi Chand and Shankar up to Manmad. This made them to not worry about their journey up to Manmad. At last, all the 3 boarded the 8 p.m. train and reached Manmad station. As soon as they got down from the train, they heard an announcement being made at the station. It said at a distant place a train derailed, hence the train that runs to Mumbai is delayed by 3 hours, and all the 3 were pleasantly surprised to hear this. And now Shankarrao got a spark in his mind that Sri Sai Maharaj's blessings will never be futile. Right away, he could perceive the reason behind them missing the train at Kopargaon. He began to marvel at the omniscience of Sri Sai Maharaj because the derailment happened at a far-off place, and Sri Sai Baba, the Supreme Incarnation, being aware of it, halted these 3 at Kopargaon and made them to reach Manmad station on time to board their Mumbai train without any hassle. Another blessing was the train tickets from Manmad to Mumbai was also purchased by the indoor devotee for all of them. So, all the 3 reached Mumbai safely, but owing to 3 hours delay, the train that had to reach in the morning made it only by 3 p.m. to Mumbai. Lala Lakshmi Chand was supposed to report to work at 11 a.m. Though it was too late, he decided to go to office that day, whereas Shankarrao was working in the court and he felt that it would be pointless to go to work. Moreover, his classmate, that is the indoor friend, made a warm invitation to his house at Sion. So Shankarrao couldn't deny that loving call, went with him and stayed there, spent some happy hours together, and by evening he went to his home. Devotees, when he reached home, he still had that 1 rupee 50 paisa that he was left with when he started from Shirdi, still intact. He had no necessity to spend even a paisa anywhere, as all the expenses were completely taken care by his classmate, the indoor devotee. This experience portrayed the divinity of Sri Sai Maharaj to Shankar. His devotion and faith on Sri Sai Maharaj got strengthened in multifold. He became a fervent devotee of Sri Sai, continued to render his services, and experienced divine leelas of Sri Sai Baba. Among those, two are very significant. Let us listen to them now. Once, Shankar Rao and S.B. Nachne came for Sri Sai's darshan. They were asked to give dakshana many times, and all their money got depleted. After a while, when they prostrated at the lotus feet, Sri Sai again asked for rupees 15 dakshana. They didn't have any money to give, so they said, "Baba, we don't have money to offer." In few minutes, Sri Sai Baba again asked for dakshana, but this time it was rupees 30. They both said they have no money to give. Nachne began to ponder thus. Sri Sai Maharaj knew that we don't have any money. Then why is he repeatedly asking for dakshana? If Baba would ask again, I must immediately say, "Baba, how are we to give dakshana when we don't have any money?" After some time, again Sri Sai Maharaj asked for rupees 64 dakshana. Nachne intervened and gave a sharp reply. "Baba, we are poor people. We don't have so much money. If you keep asking huge amounts like rupees 30 and 64, from where are we to get that money?" In no time, Sri Sai Maharaj responded, "If you don't have, then collect and offer the money." Listeners, this has been a custom among the devotees visiting Shirdi. For instance, if a devotee doesn't have money to offer, then they collect money from those present there and offer, and this was accepted by Sri Sai Maharaj. So, Nachne and Shankar Rao took this as a casual instruction of Sri Sai Baba. Even a small amount that was offered to Sri Sai, when accepted by him, he readily bestowed greater benefits to them. This is the significance of dakshana, and we have heard many leelas that demonstrated the blessings reaped by the devotees for every single pie offered by them with good intention. Sri Sai had asserted that if I receive 1 rupee from my devotee, then I am bound to return to them in tenfold. Sri Sai Maharaj need not return only by means of money. He might shower his blessings in any mode that is appropriate for the devotee. Getting back to the original thread, Nachne and Shankar Rao decided to collect money from other devotees. But rupees 64 seemed to be a larger value, and at that moment, not many devotees were present there. So they didn't take this issue seriously and just casually went to their resting place. After seeking Sri Sai Maharaj's permission, they returned to their hometown. They never pondered deep about this rupees 64. Later, during the year 1916, Sri Sai Maharaj fell sick and was bedridden. All the devotees were concerned about his health and decided to arrange for a bandara, that is, offering sacred food on a large scale, as they thought this will make Sri Sai Baba's health better. Hence, they planned to make this food available for all the people in and around the villages of Shirdi and to the people living at every nook and corner. For this purpose, they chose to collect money from all the devotees and made the plan known to those at far-off places and told them to offer whatever is feasible by them. In connection with this, the devotees living in Bandra, Villeparle and Santa Cruz formed a group to conduct a Nama Saptaha, that is, incessant chanting of Lord's name for 7 days, and this group was headed by S.B. Nachne and Shankarrao Gavankar, and money was collected during this event to support the food offering to be held in Shirdi. And to the utter surprise of S.B. Nachne and Shankarrao Gavankar, the amount thus collected totaled up exactly to rupees 64. Only then both could connect the dots and perceive the significance of the instance that happened during their visit to Shirdi, wherein repeatedly Sri Sai asked them for dakshana, starting from rupees 15, then rupees 30, and lastly rupees 64, though they said that they don't have money, and finally they were asked to offer rupees 64. This number 64 didn't have any significance to them then. So, when they plainly replied that they don't have any money, Sri Sai asked them to collect and submit it to him. Now, surprisingly, the collection they made for Bandara summed up to rupees 64. Nachne and Shankarrao marveled at the sagacity of Sri Sai Maharaj. Devotees, Sri Sai Maharaj didn't foretell the events that are to happen in the future. Even few experts in astrology might be able to indicate couple of incidents based on their expertise. But that's not what Sri Sai is. Instead, whatever Sri Sai professed is materializing. This is the subtle philosophy hidden in the Leela. In the words of Sri Sai, my words are always pregnant with meaning and never hollow. Sri Sai illustrated through this divine sport that he is the supreme incarnation capable of changing even the Brahma Lipi. It is a general opinion that none can change the Brahma Lipi, that is, the fate of a person, but the Supreme God Sri Sai Baba can alter it. This amazing experience left Shankarrao and Nachne in horripilation. Let's now move on to the next astounding miracle experienced by Shankarrao. This is related to his mother. She had a great desire to go to Pandharpur. Having darshan of Vittal was in fact one of her earnest dreams. They were residing in Vase, and to go to Pandharpur, they travelled through Shirdi. Shankarrao suggested to his mother that on the way they stop at Shirdi, have Sri Sai's darshan and then proceed to Pandharpur. Mother was extremely happy that she would also get the darshan of Sri Sai Baba. So, son and mother came for darshan. Then they beseeched Sri Sai's consent to start their journey to Pandharpur. Sri Sai said, "Why do you want to go to Pandharpur? What is the necessity to go there? Pandharpur is here. Believe me." Implicitly, the approval was denied. Shankarrao was of the firm conviction that they will face hurdles if they start to Pandharpur without Sri Sai's approval. Rather, if they go with the blessings of Sri Sai, then their journey would be a pleasant and comfortable one. His mother was also aware of this, so she didn't want to proceed without Sri Sai Baba's consent. She was sad that she couldn't go for darshan. When they were to leave Shiradi and return to their hometown, Sri Sai gave a packet of udi in the hand of his mother. After reaching their home at Vasi, they lit the lamp in the puja altar and opened the udi packet given by Sri Sai Maharaj. Lo, to their pleasant surprise, instead of udi, all they found was the buka powder. This buka powder is a black powder filled with fragrance, and this will be given as the prasadam at Pandharpur. Isn't this a great marvel? The udi packet given by Sri Sai Maharaj to this mother got transformed into the buka powder that devotees get at Pandharpur. Both were extremely happy that they got the buka powder even without going to Pandharpur, which means the benefit or blessings that they would have reaped by having darshan of Vittal Rakumayi is bestowed upon them in Shiradi itself. Sri Sai Maharaj enacted this Leela to illustrate that he and Pandurangar are one and the same. This is what is revealed in the Arati lines, Shiradi Maje Pandarapura Sai Baba Ramavara. During the Chota Arati, sung in the morning, these lines indicate that Shiradi is my Pandharpur and Sai Baba is my Ramavara, that is Vittal. This Arati is very popular among the devotees. This greatest truth was exhibited by Sri Sai Maharaj to Shankar Rao and to his mother. These divine experiences strengthened Shankar Rao's faith and devotion in leaps and bounds. He remained as a most ardent devotee of Sri Sai Maharaj. Now, devotees, we have been listening to Shankar Rao Gavankar's experiences who accompanied Lakshmi Chand to Shiradi for darshan. We have added him also to be one of the sparrows that was drawn to Shiradi and discussed the blessings showered by Sri Sai upon him in detail. As per Sri Sai's SATCHARITRA, this chapter depicts the wonderful Leelas experienced by the three sparrows drawn to Shiradi, and they are Lakshmi Chand, Barhanpur Lady and Megha. Lala Lakshmi Chand was also blessed with divine experiences which we shall listen now. To recall, Lala Lakshmi Chand and Shankar Rao Gavankar during their journey to Shiradi sang bhajans merrily in the train and reached Kopargaon. From there they came to Shiradi. As soon as they came in the presence of Sri Sai Maharaj, they were immensely happy. Their desires were fulfilled and were in a deep emotional state. He took some clean water, washed the lotus feet of Sri Sai, then offered his puja to the great Lord who blessed him by appearing in his vision. He then placed the fruits and coconut in front of Sri Sai. At that very moment, Sri Sai gave a side glance at Lala Lakshmi Chand and said, "Rascals! They do bhajan all through the way and make enquiries from others. Why ask others? Must come and see everything with your eyes. Why ask anyone else? Experience the Leelas by yourself and then ponder if the dream was true or not. Come to your own decision. What was the necessity of coming for darshan after borrowing money from a Marwadi? Is your heart's desire fulfilled now?" They both were baffled to hear the series of events listed by Sri Sai Maharaj in the order it occurred. Every single event that happened starting with his dream until they reached Shirdi was mentioned by Sri Sai Maharaj. They were convinced that Sri Sai Baba is omniscient and omnipresent. Few devotees might get a doubt that Lala Lakshmi Chand borrowed rupees 15 from his uncle's son for his travel expenses. Whereas, in the above statement, Sri Sai Maharaj states, "What is the need to borrow money from the Marwari?" It's because Lala Lakshmi Chand himself belonged to Marwari caste. So, obviously, his uncle's son will also be a Marwari. This is one of the reasons. Secondly, it was not just Lala Lakshmi Chand who borrowed money from Marwari, but even Shankarrao Gavankar also borrowed money from this same Marwari. So, both have taken loan from a Marwari, which Sri Sai says that he is aware of. They understood that Sri Sai Maharaj knew the past, present and future of every person as well as every thought that rises in the mind of a person. Following this, Lala Lakshmi Chand got few other amazing experiences. Both Lala Lakshmi Chand and Shankarrao Gavankar stayed in the Satewada and sat down for lunch. There were also nearly 150 devotees from Mumbai who had come for Sri Sai's darshan and were lodging in Satewada. All of them sat down to eat. At that time, sansa, a kind of wheat pudding that was offered to Sri Sai Maharaj, was distributed to all the devotees. That was very delicious and Lala Lakshmi Chand loved it. He was desiring for more. But being a prasadam, everyone got a small portion served on the leaf that was spread for them to eat their meals. Next day noon, when Lala Lakshmi Chand went to Dwarakamai for noon arati, he was hoping he would get some sanza, but it was not available. On the third day, when he went for noon arati, at that time, Jog was bringing the puja plate to perform the arati and walked towards Dwarakamai. He came to Sri Sai Maharaj and asked, "Baba, what should I bring today for Naivedya?" Sri Sai gave a gentle smile and looking at Lala Lakshmi Chand said, "Today let's have sanza. Get it quickly. I am very hungry. And bring more so that everyone can have it to their heart's content." Immediately Jog went and made this wheat pudding and brought it in 2 full pots. The noon arati was performed and sanza was distributed as prasad to all the devotees. Lakshmi Chand was also very hungry, but he was unable to move freely because he had a severe back pain, but never revealed this to anyone. At that moment, Sri Sai Maharaj called out for Lala in a very loving and caring tone and said, "Lala, you are hungry. Here is the sanza. Eat to your heart's content. Your back is also hurting and it also needs medicine." Lala Lakshmi Chand was astonished hearing these soothing and loving words of Sri Sai Maharaj. His eyes were flooded in tears of joy. He was wonderstruck at the omniscience of Sri Sai Baba as every thought of his were voiced out by Sri Sai. He was extremely happy to understand that Sri Sai Baba loves him intensely. His craving for sansa also was satisfied. Lala Lakshmi Chand had the above experiences when he had come to Shirdi with Shankarrao Gavankar. He was also blessed with divine experiences during his next visit to Shirdi, which we shall heed in the coming episodes. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.